I have officially reached the point where my TBR pile has become a massive mountain that could collapse at any moment and cause serious injury, so naturally I added more to it. Today, I'm going to be sharing my overly ambitious reading plans for this month, May, as well as June, and a little bit into July as well. I'm feeling fairly confident that I can actually get through all of these. Right now, I'm just really enjoying reading. I was kind of in a slump for a while, but all the books I'm reading right now are really good, so I'm hoping I can get through all of these. Now I know what you're thinking, Jay, why do you insist on reading multiple books at once instead of just focusing on one before moving on to the next one? I don't know, okay? I've asked myself that same question. It's just the way my brain works. I like to have like multiple things on the go at once. That way, depending on what I feel like reading or what type of mood I'm in that day, I can read that book, then switch back to the other one and go back and forth. I don't know if it's really the best way to read, but it's the way that I read. Let me know if you can relate. Of course, feel free to tell me the books that you're reading in the comments as well, and while you're down there, make sure to subscribe. First off, I need to talk about Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. If you're unaware, I'm hosting a read-along for Empire of Silence over on the Discord server, and it's well underway. We started on May 7th, so we're now up to like chapter 9, but you can still join. This is like a fairly slow-paced read-along. We're reading it over the course of 2 months, so we'll be finished by July 2nd. But even then, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussions in the Discord because some people are reading at their own pace, and that's the whole thing with this read-along. I want to make sure people don't feel overwhelmed. That's why it's kind of a casual read-along. However, I do have checkpoints where after each checkpoint, I'll put up a discussion post for those chapters related to the checkpoint. So once you're caught up to that point, you can go and read the discussion post and then chat about it with everybody. I have a whole reading schedule up with different checkpoints, so you can go at your own pace. Just make sure you don't read that discussion post until you've read up to the checkpoint. So far, I've been really enjoying this one, which is a good sign because I hear that book 1 is actually one of the weakest books in the Sun Eater series. So I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm going to enjoy these books. It did take me a while to get invested at the beginning, but once I did, and the writing style finally clicked for me, I'm now feeling invested in Hadrian's journey. Now, this is a book that's very dense. Like, for me anyway, I actually had to go back to the glossary and look at some of the words, some of the meanings of words in the back of the book. And I never do that when I'm reading. Even when I read The Wheel of Time, I never really go back to the glossary. In this book, I had to at some points. One of the reasons I was so excited about starting this read-along and reading Empire of Silence is because I've often heard it be called The Name of the Wind, but in space, or The Name of the Wind blended with Dune. And I could kind of see that. I could see how it is similar to that, but it's definitely its own work as well. Really, it's just kind of the main intro and the frame story that reminds me of The Name of the Wind. So I do think that fans of the Kingkiller Chronicle will likely enjoy this, but if you're not a fan of Kingkiller, you should still give this a read because it's not that similar. Empire of Silence centers around Hadrian Marlowe. The narrative unfolds entirely through Hadrian's first-person perspective, recounting events that inevitably lead to the epic event referenced in the series title, the obliteration of a son. From the very first page, Hadrian openly warns readers that they're starting a journey destined for disaster, yet one he unapologetically stands by. If you are interested in joining in on the read-along, maybe you're new to the Discord server and you don't really know how it works, basically I set it up so that once you join the server, head to the Roll React channel, then from there, whatever emoji you react with, you'll gain access to those channels. So once you react with the Sun Eater emoji, then you'll gain access to the Sun Eater read-along. You also get a special role called Sun Eater, and that way I can tag you all using that role when there's new discussion posts up and whatnot. This is definitely going to be the best read-along yet. I'm really excited for it, so if you do want to read the book with me and everybody else so we can all discuss it together, then make sure to join. I'm also going to have polls and trivia and fan art, so yeah, it's going to be really fun experiencing this series with you guys, and this read-along is going to continue after Empire of Silence. We're going to be starting on the second book in July, and with the 7th Sun Eater book releasing later this year, now is the time to read the series if you haven't read it yet. We are going at a pretty casual pace, so we're not going to fully be caught up by the time the 7th book comes out, but we'll almost be caught up anyway. Even if you don't want to join the read-along, you should still join the Discord server. We have a welcoming, non-toxic community that love to talk about fantasy books. We have a ton of different channels for your favorite series, so yeah, make sure to join the Discord server if you haven't yet. Now, this next book I foolishly started right before the read-along. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but I heard that this book has some very strong characters that are stonemasons, and in the book that I'm writing, I'm currently writing the perspective of someone who's a stonemason, so I wanted some inspiration. So I picked up The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Do you see how thick this book is? It is a thick, chunky book, and for some reason I decided to start that before starting Sun Eater, which is also a thick book. But I have fully fallen in love with this book. It's kind of been put on hold for now as I've been reading Sun Eater, but I wasn't expecting to enjoy this book as much as I am. I don't read a lot of historical fiction. I thought it was going to be very dry, learning about the Middle Ages, even though, you know, a lot of fantasy is set in the Middle Ages as well, but I thought this was going to be very dry and it was going to be a slow read. Little did I know I was about to fall in love with this cast of characters. The Pillars of the Earth is set in the 12th century England during a tumultuous period known as the Anarchy, and the book follows the ambitious project of building a magnificent cathedral in the fictional town of Kingsbridge. I was not expecting to fall in love with these characters as much as I did, and we follow such a great cast of characters. We follow monks and nobles and villagers and craftsmen, and we experience their interpersonal struggles and their ambitions and their rivalries. And I feel like Ken Follett is just a master at drawing you in to the 12th century. He just writes so vividly, like I feel like I'm experiencing the 12th century through these characters' eyes, while blending in that personal drama and suspense of all the different relationships going on in this book. If I'm judging it by just the first quarter that I've read, I would already say it's like a new favorite of mine, but of course, things can change, so I'll have to keep you guys updated on this one. I know this book has won a lot of awards and stuff, but yeah, I just, for some reason, wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I am. Also, one of you on my Patreon sent me this book, like, several years ago now. I'm so sorry I forgot your name, but thank you so much for sending this to me because I'm really enjoying it. Let me know if you've read it. I would love to discuss. Oh, and that book is likely gonna take me a few months to get through because of the read-along I'm doing. Now, I have also started The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. My physical copy isn't set to arrive until, I believe, the 23rd, but I decided to pick up the audio copy in the meantime as well because Stephen Pacey is just an incredible narrator, so I didn't want to miss out on the narration anyway. But then once I get the physical copy, I'll probably read it while listening to the audiobook, which if you haven't tried that is such an immersive experience. That way you get to read the book, you also experience the drama, performative aspects of listening to it as well. I'm not too far into the audiobook yet, but I mean, it's Joe Abercrombie. Obviously, I'm enjoying it. Joe Abercrombie is an auto-buy author for me ever since I read his first Law trilogy. Abercrombie hasn't written anything that I haven't enjoyed. I'm not far enough into the Devils yet to give much of an opinion, but it's filled with Abercrombie's like dry wit and humor, and it's been really enjoyable so far. If you don't know, The Devils is set in an alternate medieval Europe where not only does plague and famine envelop the land, but monsters lurk in the shadows. And the elves are set to return again and take over the world and eat every mortal. The Devils follows Brother Diaz, a devout monk unexpectedly appointed to lead the clandestine chapel of Holy Expediency. His mission to escort Alexia, a street thief with a hidden royal lineage, to claim the throne of Troy. And to accomplish this, Diaz has to assemble a team of outcasts and supernatural beings known as the Devils, including an immortal knight, a Swedish werewolf, a semi-invisible elf, a suave vampire, and a disgruntled necromancer. It kind of feels like a Suicide Squad or X-Force group, and yeah, I'm really excited to read more of The Devils, and I'll definitely be putting up a review once I finish it. I haven't really mentioned this, but I've been wanting to make some Wheel of Time videos, like some in-depth summaries and some lore videos, and to do that, I needed to reread The Wheel of Time. So I've slowly been rereading the series. In April, I finished up The Dragon Reborn, and now I'm halfway through The Shadow Rising. Now, this time around, I've been going back and forth between the physical and the audiobooks, so when I don't have the time to sit down and physically read it, I'll switch over to the audiobook. And doing that, and also because this is a reread, I've actually been able to get through these books pretty fast, and I forgot how much I enjoy The Wheel of Time. I truly do not understand people that trash on The Wheel of Time and act like it's so terribly flawed, and it isn't one of the greatest fantasy series written. I'm not saying The Wheel of Time is perfect. I think it has a lot of issues. It could have been trimmed down a lot, and some of the writing can get repetitive. But regardless, there's so much to enjoy in The Wheel of Time. I don't understand people that act like it doesn't deserve all of the praise that it's gotten. It 100% does. Despite all of its flaws, The Wheel of Time is still such an incredible series, and it's a series that is always going to be special to me. Yes, some of the characters are young and naive, they can be kind of annoying at times, but the beauty of it is that we get to see them grow over the course of the books, and some characters that maybe you didn't like at the beginning will end up becoming some of your favorite characters by the end. I also just really enjoy the way that Robert Jordan writes. To me, it's like comfort food fantasy, but it's high quality. He does have a lot of description in his writing of the clothing and the food and the cities, and I hear people say that as a negative thing a lot of the time. For me, I feel like that allows me to read the book faster because I can visualize everything so well that I'm able to just fly through the books, and I really enjoy that aspect. It does get repetitive sometimes, but overall, Robert Jordan's writing, it might not be Malazan, it might not be Sun Eater, but it is very comforting to me, and I'll never understand why some people on Reddit and YouTube try to claim that Jordan isn't a good writer. You're just wrong. So those are the books I'm reading in May and June. Moving over to July. So in July, we're going to be starting on the second Sun Eater book. I'm not quite sure of the dates yet. I haven't set up the date for that read-along, but it will likely start in early July. And beside Howling Dark, really the only other book I want to start is Rivers of London, because I'm planning a trip to London later in August, so I just wanted to read something that's set in London, and I've heard so many good things about this book. It's urban fantasy that blends police procedural and detective fiction with magic, and it sounds amazing. Really, that's all I know about it, and I kind of want to keep it that way until I read it for myself. But let me know in the comments if you've read Rivers of London and what you thought. Oh my god, there's interior artwork! I never knew that! And because I still might be finishing up the Pillars of the Earth in July, I'm not sure yet. I don't want to overload that month with a bunch of other books, but if I do happen to get the time, the book that held her heart by Mark Lawrence, this is book 3 in his library series, which has been one of my new favorite series, so I really want to finish up the third and final book. Highly recommend this series if you haven't read it yet. If you haven't read anything by Mark Lawrence, I think this is a great place to start, and it's just such a unique read. So definitely you guys should check it out. I also have Missing Pages, which is a short novella that takes place in the same world, so I need to read this as well, but it will probably be a very quick read. And that is everything on my May through early July TBR. Let me know in the comments if you plan on joining the Empire of Silence read-along, or just let me know the books that you plan on reading over the next few months. I would love to hear from you guys. As always, a huge thank you to all my patrons and my channel members, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys soon.